Hi, I'm Jeff Haynes, editor at TechBargains, and today we're bringing you the unboxing of the Lenovo A700 all-in-one desktop system. We've showcased previous all-in-one systems before, like the Lenovo B305 all-in-one, which promised portability and functionality in a compact package. You can kind of consider the A700 to be the B305's big brother, sporting more power, newer features, and much more multimedia functionality to possibly replace any desktop or even some TVs in your house. So, let's take a look. Now, the one thing that you'll notice as soon as you open up the A700 is that it comes with a number of accessories with the system. For instance, the first box that you'll see will obviously congratulate you on the purchase of the A700, but it also has a lot of interesting items within. Of course, the first thing that you'll notice is some of the information that you get, like the quick start guide that gives you a couple of details about your system itself, or the energy saver information and the manuals. You also will see the power brick, which you'll use to power the A700. Pretty sizable, but to be expected for a system this strong and large, as well as the power cord to connect to the power brick. You also get some mounting brackets. So if you want to make the A700 the center of the family room, the living room, or wherever you happen to install this, and you don't want to take it with you around the house or place it with you, in the kitchen for one thing and in the office for something else, you can easily attach this mounting bracket to the wall, connect the A700, and there you go. The other devices within the box itself are kind of intriguing, primarily because of their functionality. Now, for example, in this small box itself, you have a mouse. Clearly, you don't necessarily need to use the mouse itself because the A700 has what they call Surface Acoustic Wave Multi-Touch functionality, which is a new augmentation on the natural touch system that the B305 used to have. But if you like the use and the feel of a mouse, you just connect the Bluetooth mouse via the access code, and there you go. The other feature that is included is this remote control. And it's really, really interesting because this has multiple uses with this one device. Clearly, you can use it as a standardized remote control for changing channels if you decide to use the TV tuner functionality, if you decided to buy that. But you can also use it as an air mouse simply by pointing it at the A700 and using it to control the mouse pointer on screen. So if you don't happen to have the mouse nearby, you can easily still interact with the A700 that way. It also has interesting Wiimote-like functionality. So for certain games like table tennis or baseball, all you have to do is basically swing the remote just like you would with Nintendo's console, and you can automatically interact with your games that way. Intriguingly, they also decided to include a wrist strap because they've probably learned from many of the Wii injuries and accidents that occurred with that system that you don't want a remote flying from your hands and landing through the A700's screen. So that's a really, really interesting addition to the device itself. Finally, they included some disks with some drivers and some system software to easily back the system up. Outside of that larger box, you also will find a smaller box which has a keyboard. Again, because of the Surface Acoustic Wave multi-touch functionality, you might not necessarily wind up using that because you'll essentially control the computer with your fingers. But if you want to have a keyboard because you're, say, typing a paper or working on a separate project where you would actually rather have a keyboard to input information rather than your fingers, you can easily connect this Bluetooth keyboard, just like the mouse, by putting in the access code and syncing it up with the A700. As you can see, it's very, very thin, very, very light, and easily syncable to the A700. So, that's what you can expect to find when you open up the two accessory boxes, but why don't we take a look at the system itself? So, as you can see, this is the A700 system. There was a little edit in the video itself, primarily because we were having some trouble pulling this very brand new system out of the styrofoam in the box. But as you can see, this system is dominated by the 23-inch screen, which has a native resolution of 1920 by 1080. So it will render all of your video and your media in full HD. The other thing that you'll probably not necessarily be able to see because the system is turned off is that it has a number of buttons on the front that are touch sensitive that you can use to control everything from the brightness and the volume of the system itself to a new feature that's called Novo Vision, which allows you to basically trigger some presets within the A700 to maximize your experience if you happen to be viewing, say, a web page or watching a movie. All you do is basically trigger the button and it will automatically adjust the brightness and contrast to maximize the screen for those specific instances. Pretty intriguing feature, but you kind of expect something like that for an all-in-one system. Obviously at the bottom of the device you have a power button, and it's dominated by two JBL speakers on the front of the system itself, which have Dolby Home Theater certification. So your movies, your music, any of your content should sound very crisp and clean right there. On the left-hand side of the A700, you'll see this optical drive right here. This is actually a Blu-ray DVD combo drive, so any media that you happen to have or any movies that you put inside this will be able to take advantage of the JBL speakers and that Dolby Home Theater certification I just mentioned and make sure that it sounds really, really excellent when it plays back on the 23-inch screen. On the right-hand side of the A700, you'll see a few of the inputs of the device itself. At the top, obviously, you have a 5-in-1 card reader, so any memory cards that you happen to have, you can easily put in right there. You have an eSATA port, so if you happen to have an eSATA drive, you can easily connect there, as well as a FireWire port, which is conveniently located right next to it. You also find two USB ports both here and at the bottom of the device itself, so you can easily connect on the front side of the A700, as well as your standard headphone and microphone ports right there. Pretty standard for just about any computer. However, on the rear of the A700, you have all of the multimedia inputs. On the left-hand side, you'll find the optional TV tuner. Not all A700s will come with this device, but if you decide to order it, you can easily connect a cable to this tuner, and if you have a certain cable package, you can get those channels on the A700 itself. Next to that is the wireless reset button. So if you happen to have any wireless peripherals attached to the A700 and they start to get a little wonky in use because the signal gets interrupted, you can easily hit that button and reestablish a connection to them. Next to that are the AV inputs, as well as 4 USB 2.0 ports that are arranged in a square configuration. Next to the USB 2.0 ports is your gigabit Ethernet port, as well as a Sony Philips digital interface port. So if you happen to have a receiver and you want to connect the A700 to that to stream the audio directly to the receiver and make this the center of your multimedia hub, you can easily do that without any problems. Next to that is an HDMI in and an HDMI out port, as well as the power port itself. The A700 is powered by a Core i7-740QM processor with about 8 GB of DDR3 RAM, and it's supplemented by an ATI Mobility Radeon HD 5650 chip with 1 GB of graphical RAM as well. It also comes with a terabyte of hard drive storage spinning at 7200 RPM, so your data should come quickly and quietly. So that's our unboxing of the A700 all-in-one desktop system by Lenovo. Be sure to come back in the upcoming weeks where we'll have a full review of this system and other products and reviews of the latest technology and gadgets. And for the latest coupons and deals on systems like the Lenovo A700, be sure to check out TechBargains.com.